Hi, everyone. Welcome to Made to Dream. I'm your host, Maya Chanel. On this platform, we share stories from women that are inspiring young girls and women around the world to dream with unlimited possibilities. Today, I have the ultimate pleasure of being with Miss Christy Primmer, who is a Canadian author and TV host. And we are just so excited for her to share her story and her journey. And I just cannot wait for her to share with you guys what she's been up to. So, hey, Christy, how are you doing today?
Hello, Maya. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you. So, why don't you start by letting them know a little bit about yourself? I already introduced you as a Canadian author and a TV host, and I'm pretty sure the people are excited to hear about what kind of content you're producing, what type of TV show you're on, and how you are just pressing the measures and making leaps and bounds in your life.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. So every single thing that I do through my company, Primetime, is bringing more love and light into the world and showing people what's possible. So my TV show is called Women Who Lead, and I feature female entrepreneurs that are making an impact and income in the world, showing women what's possible when we pursue our dreams. My books are all about building confidence and optimizing your mindset for success and really creating your best life and what that means on an individual level, right? My best life isn't maybe the same as what someone else's might be, but really empowering women to stop asking for permission and just taking it, and knowing that no matter where they come from, they can go to places beyond their wildest dreams. I'm a registered mental health counselor as well. So I have 2 decades. I have 2 decades of doing mental health advocacy and counseling work, which I'm very grateful for. And I work with women only in my coaching business and help them elevate and accelerate their lives and their results. So it's such an aligned fit to be talking with you today. I'm going to bring some heat. I'm going to bring some value and hopefully make people laugh.
Yes, definitely. We love an entertainer. So I want to know, how were you able to break the social barriers or the cultural barriers and find your life's passion, find out how you needed to lead in your own life?
Oh, I love this question. And I get really vulnerable about this in my book that's in edits right now. Where I grew up in a small village, and most of the women were farmers' wives, and we're happy doing that. And I mean, that's not all that the women were. My mom was a business manager, so I did have that example, but a lot of the women never went to post-secondary education. They never pursued wild dreams, in my opinion. And I knew from the time as a little girl that God put a huge dream on my heart. I was going to be a world famous author, and I was going to help women around the world and get them out of poverty. Like, these were my dreams at a young age. And I've actually created that and continue to. So that's interesting. But I grew up in this little village and really always felt different. I felt kind of like I didn't belong because I had such big dreams and the audacity to actually believe I could make them happen. Fast forward, lots of life challenges and events and things that have shaped me. I was determined to get a really good education so I could provide for myself. I found myself getting married at a young age, had my son at 21, was divorced by 23, single mother of a child with a rare physical disability. I had all these barriers in front of me. And I knew through my faith and through my self-belief, which took a lot of work to build and continues to take work, that anything would be possible. And, here I am. My son will be 20 this year, so I'm giving away my age.
Awesome. That's huge congratulations.
Thank you so much. And I've worked for what I have, and I think there's so much joy in figuring out what your passion is and your purpose, and then taking action and taking action consistently every day towards being who you want to be, doing what you want to do. And you also are a great example of that.
Thank you. I think what you said was super important. You enjoyed your process of finding your passion, because I think a lot of people don't see the enjoyment or the beauty in the struggle of coming or blossoming into the person you have become today. The reward is so much better, but the journey is what builds your character and what truly defines who you are. So I think that's super, super, super important. I think everyone should take that mental note for sure.
And with that, if I can be as bold, the character building wasn't always fun.
Yeah, it's not, but it's like when you look back on it, you're like, wow, I actually did have a lot of fun
Yes.
doing that, and I enjoyed that process. So in the
Yes.
moment, it might not be the most fun, but if you make it enjoyable, take every day step by step, every day one day at a time, I'm pretty sure it'll be less stressful and less of a headache.
Absolutely.
So I want to know how you were able to overcome the mindset of the small town that you grew up in, where I know you mentioned how you were a big dreamer in a pool of individuals who necessarily did not have the same life goals as you did. So how were you able to overcome and build a stronger mindset around those insecurities or inabilities?
Yeah, that's an amazing question. I think a lot of my determination and my gutsiness is in my DNA. I've
Mhm.
always been a leader, um, and sometimes a lone wolf it feels, because when you're pursuing big dreams, sometimes you spend a lot of that time alone, because
Right.
people don't get you, or they don't see your vision, or they may think you're crazy, because why would a young woman from a small village have these big dreams, right?
Right.
Um, but what I started doing was I started reading. I do have a very strong faith. I have a very strong source connection. I
Mhm.
started reading a lot of books. This is way before podcasts were a thing, but I started to
Mhm.
read, and I started to pay attention to my self-talk. I started to pay attention to the people I was around and how they impacted me, or how their
Mhm.
energetic vibe, like how it shifted me, or drained me. And
Mhm.
I took bold leaps of faith. I mean, I moved out at 18, hopped on a plane, had never flown before, moved to a different province, started working there, um, you know, pursued post-secondary education for a couple
Mhm.
degrees. Like, I just took the action, and yes, there were downfalls and sour times and dark times, but I persisted, and I kept turning to my faith, and I kept turning to my bigger why. And my why was, I really do believe that anything is possible if we believe we can have whatever we believe we can. I really
Yes,
firmly believe that.
definitely manifesting your own dreams, and you have to work for it and you can make it come into reality. I want
Yes.
to jump back for a second. I heard you talk about being around and surrounded by the right people. I think as a young individual, a lot of times we come into a space of, oh, I've been friends with this person for so long. And then it's like when you begin to outgrow that person, do you continue to like be around that person all the time, or you have to bring yourself into a space where the people around you are going to reflect your version of success. You have to be around people who are going to propel you to the next level and not individuals that are going to bring you down. So I want to talk about that a little bit more. How are you able to figure out, okay, like this is not necessarily what I need to be around. I need to elevate myself to a different audience. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting? I'll have to send you a copy, but in my book Primetime Success, I do the circle of influence exercise. I started,
Okay.
and I this is something I was doing. I learned it through Bob Proctor, actually. He didn't teach the
Okay.
exact technique, but he talked about different
Mm-hmm.
ideas about your circle of influence. And so I
Mm-hmm.
kind of made up my own. And I got really clear about who I was actually spending time with and how I felt around them. I had a lot of people that were family that I had to learn to distance myself from, because I, I think they honestly were just afraid for me, because if I failed, or I mean, heaven forbid you fail up. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
failures taught me more than anything in my life.
Yes.
Um, but I had to get really clear on who was I spending time with, how was it affecting me and my thoughts. And I spent much of my childhood, this is why I love working with young girls, young women, because I spent so much of my adolescence and teens and early 20s feeling like I wasn't good enough, feeling like maybe I was absolutely nuts because why did I think I could do this stuff or whatever. And when I got clear on who I was hanging out with and the conversations that I wanted to be having, and took responsibility for my own energy and my own behavior, the older friends that I was outgrowing, I started seeing them less and less. I found different ways to fulfill myself through reading or just really staying focused on my vision, on my dream, and then reminding myself that people that achieve greatness must outgrow certain relationships.
Right.
Les Brown is I actually got to meet Les Brown, I have to say that.
Yeah.
He is I think he's the best speaker in the entire world, but he is my go-to and has been for many, many years.
My mom's pretty good friends with him.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, this is a match made in heaven. I met him at Grant Cardone's 10X conference. Very briefly. I mean, I didn't get to spend days with him or anything, but
right.
His message that he shared that day and that I had watched the years over time was the catalyst to me realizing that you do outgrow certain people. It has nothing to do with thinking you're better than them. It has nothing to do with entitlement or it has nothing to do with anything except staying true to your values and your destiny, that where you want to go, where you want to be. And if people are weighing you down or secretly trying to sabotage you or just blatantly think you're nuts and don't support you, you can't have those people in your circle, at least not in the immediate reach, because you will be influenced by their behavior, by their habits, by their thoughts, by their conversation.
Definitely. It's like if you sit around people who are robbing banks or something, like you're going to be associated with that. It's going to, even if you're not the one robbing banks, it's going to tarnish your own image, essentially. Yes. So you have to literally watch the company that you keep because it's a reflection of yourself and your values. So I think it's not to say like, oh, when you see someone in public, you have to like, go into hiding or something, but it's necessarily like just to say like, for your own mental sake, for your image, you have to distance yourself and put yourself around what you see your life's vision to be.
Absolutely. And one of the things, it's not always easy. A lot of people ask me when I'm speaking at events or something, they'll say, but how did you do it? I just made the decision. I made the decision every day. I made the decision that I wanted to be around, not necessarily only like-minded people, but I wanted to be around people that were uplifting and energizing and were respectful and had integrity. And you are guilty by association. So you're right. Whatever circle you're hanging with, it's a reflection.
No, seriously. It's, it's not easy to do, but it is a necessary step if you want to propel your life to the next level. Just surround yourself with the people that are going to help you reach those goals or going to help you be in a better light, per se.
Yes, absolutely.
So I want to know, what is the most inspiring thing that you've been able to do to help other women or anyone in general with your business or your career and your life's passion?
Wow, you know what? I'm so blessed to say I've been able to help thousands of women and in different ways. I think showing up every day and messaging from my heart with the intention to help women rise up, elevate their game, remind themselves of who they are and whose they are. I think leading by example, especially for the younger women in my life or that follow me on social media. I think, leading by that example and being true not only to my values and to who I am, but showing the ups, downs. Like not everything is glamorous in the journey, right? But that's part of the fun and that's part of the growth. And I think through my books and through my television show and through my speaking engagements and obviously my coaching services, I'm able to work with women at a deep level and elevate them. So, sometimes people can afford the book. Sometimes they want to work one-to-one. I wanted to create vehicles of growth that were available to all women. And that includes donating books as well to women's shelters and that kind of thing. but helping women through my messaging by showing them that we are not our past, we are not past trauma, we are not anything except who we choose to be in this moment. That's been a great blessing and continues to be in the work that I'm able to do.
No, that's amazing. Honestly, I think just being an example is an inspiration in itself. So what are some of the things that you might have told your younger self to help yourself propel yourself to this level of your career a little bit sooner?
Oh boy, I would have said, first of all, you're good enough just because you are. You're worthy because you are. I would tell my younger self that just keep showing up. Trust my own intuition and my own dreams instead of listening to outside noise. I would, be a lot kinder to my body. I wouldn't put so much emphasis on outer beauty. I would really look at your heart, my heart, my intentions, and really just being true to who I am, embracing my uniqueness. And I think just overall really being able to shine light on who I am and who I was created to be without worrying about fitting in, about worrying about being liked, about worrying about, the in crowd. Because here's what I know. The in crowd, they're still doing the same thing they were doing back in high school. I'm so far past the in crowd.
Yes, you have to find your own self, and once you get away from the crowd, that's when you start to skyrocket. So
Yes.
I think that is super important. So what would you like to tell our audience in this realm of social media age? What would you like to tell them to inspire them to think outside the box and to not to listen to the noise of the outside world and their judgments?
Yeah. First thing I would say is take inventory of who you follow and how it impacts you in your mind. Don't compare yourself because no one is you. And that is the superpower. That is the magic. That is the pow factor. You are you. Be connected with people that lift you up, rise you up, that you also can rise up. It's so important that, especially the younger women, stand in their fierce factor, stand in their power, and know that this is the time women get to stand up, be seen and heard, and share your message, pursue your passion, do it fearlessly. And that doesn't mean you have no fear. It means you keep going and you have mentors and friends and people that light you up, support you, and guide you as you're navigating this journey.
We thank you so much, Christy, for coming and sharing your story here on our platform and just inspiring women with your story, because you are tons of energy, super fun, and I just love it. So we're just so happy that we were able to have you on here today and share your story. Are there any last words that you'd like to say?
I would like to say thank you so much for doing this. This podcast is going to be a channel that helps women everywhere rise up, believe in themselves, and pursue their dreams with confidence. I think, my last and final message for you and the audience today is stay true to your vision. God gives you the vision. Not everyone sees it. And to the people that can't see it, they don't have to get it. But if they don't support you, they've got to go. I'm sorry, but you've got to be around the right people that are there on the great days, but also there on the not so great days, and just keep going.
Keep pushing.
Yes.
Well, I know your book is coming out soon, correct?
Yeah, this will be my third book.
Third book. So we'll have all of your information linked in the description for everyone to know so much more about you, to follow you, and see your journey as you continue to grow as an individual. And we thank you for everyone who tuned in today. Thank you for joining Made to Dream. Have a great day.